Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Unlocked. I'm your host today. I'm Tracy Wilson, and it's always my pleasure to be here with you on the Unlocked show. Today's a little bit different. We have a guest with us, and I'm super excited to have Chris Finetti with us today. I've been following his journey for quite some time. He's been, hanging out in a lot of the circles that I have been, and I was just really impressed by the stuff that Chris and his team have been doing. On the Unlock show, we've been talking about market innovation, like how to take a concept and an idea and then apply that to another industry. And in watching Chris's journey, he and his team have done exactly that. So I want to introduce you to Chris Finetti, and I want to tell you what it is that we're going to be talking about today. So our topic of discussion for today is how to create a really, really awesome online membership program that engages more students, that increases completion rates, reduces refunds, and enables you to create more repeat buyers. So if you don't want that, man, I don't know what you want in your membership site, because, the stuff that Chris and his team are creating is phenomenal. So let me introduce him. Chris Finetti, as you can see on the screen right now, he is the co-founder of Members Pro, which is a membership software that's actually revolutionizing the way that content is delivered and actually showing people how effective it can be. Chris has worked with loads of high-level leaders and influencers over his short 3.5 years in this particular space. So he's worked with some of my ultimate favorite people in the world, like Alex Charfen, Marley Jaxx, Rachel Pedersen, Stacey Paul Martino, Cristy Code Red, Blake Nubar, Emily Hirsh, Chris Forti, and loads more. So for some of you guys, they might be names that are like, don't even know who they are. But in my world, in the world of digital marketing, and if you've been hanging around anything to do with ClickFunnels, you will know those names really, really well. So without further ado, welcome to the Unlock Show, Chris, where we're going to unlock the secrets to building an amazing membership online platform. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the awesome intro.
That's okay. You deserve it. So welcome, everyone. So the way that this kind of rolls on the Unlock show is we are all about unlocking the secrets. So we're going to talk about, the secrets that you have, secrets to your success, how you've come to, build a platform like this. And I also wanted to let you know that we are streaming across like 5 different platforms right now. So some people might be watching us on Facebook, Instagram, or even listening to this as a podcast. So we'll get loads of questions. So for you guys watching right now, welcome. Like I said, it's always my pleasure to have you here. You can communicate with both Chris and I simply by allowing StreamYard to see you, and then you can type in the comment section. So let's kick this off. I want to know, you've been in this industry for 3.5 years, and you've done some amazing stuff in that period of time. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you've come to be here, doing what you're doing today.
Yeah, for sure. So, I started with a bit of a vision and sort of a little bit of fire, I guess, in my belly about 4 years ago now. I'd actually just qualified as a mechanical fitter, and I was working away in iron ore mining, and I was just like, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be an easier way to, having everything that I want without having to slave 14-hour days and work away from home for 2 weeks at a time. And where I was working wasn't particularly a nice place either. And so I was just like, I got to do something else. I got to just try and find more avenues. And I actually came across, a really well-known book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that sort of just opened my eyes a little bit. I think that's a catalyst for most people, that one. I went on a massive Robert Kiyosaki binge, and then, I found 4-Hour Workweek, which was just like another just massive catalyst for most people as well. And then that sort of led me down, the path of finding more and more sort of influencers, entrepreneurs, and people to look at for inspiration. And so after just finding that initial inspiration, I was just trying to figure out how to make everything work whilst I was still, working away in the mines. And so for that year, I was sort of trying and testing and doing all these different things like eBay drop shipping and, silly stuff like that is always like put on a pedestal as like, this is going to be the quickest and fastest way for you to get out of work. And, it never actually turns out that way. But it was a good intro and a good experience to learning the online stuff. Yes, absolutely, Robin. It was insane. So after failing for about a year doing that sort of stuff, I was like, it's just not happening for me. I just need to make a commitment. So I actually wrote a letter to myself and said, if I don't make this work in the next, I actually set a proper date, which was is the 22nd of December in 2016. I was like, if I don't make this work by this date, I'm quitting my job and I'm just going to go all in on it, because having this 2-path thing is just too much of a distraction. I can't get enough done. I can't, achieve what I want to achieve. And so after I wrote that note, I signed it and I shared it with people. A month later, I ended up getting fired. And during that sort of month period, I actually found out about Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels, and I sort of started learning everything there was to learn in that realm. And so for the next couple of months, I tried to affiliate market ClickFunnels, when they first released their affiliate bootcamp program back in 2016, end of 2016. And I just, again, didn't have any luck. I was spending money. I was wasting time. And I was just like, I need help. Like, I need someone who has achieved what I want to achieve, or is, a few steps ahead of me, so that I can learn, so I can understand how to do things better. And, just as I was telling myself that, an opportunity to work as an intern for a digital marketing agency came up. It was actually a Facebook marketing company in Perth. And I was just like, I'd be silly not to try and do this. And I showed up for the interview, probably made a fool of myself, but regardless, they gave me the internship. Actually, anyone who wants to watch my internship application video, you can go onto my profile on Facebook and you'll find the most embarrassing 6 minutes of video you'll ever see in your life. Anyway, so that's what I did. And, it just seemed to work. And I showed up every single day. I worked for free for months. I showed up every single day, worked full-time hours, did everything I could to learn and engage and do more and, help the company become better overall. And starting 2017, I was actually offered a job. And then I went down this whole path of learning funnels, getting better, becoming, one of the best ClickFunnels designers in the world, getting, praised by Russell Brunson, and basically meeting 30 other people who were at the same level, or at least, a level where I wanted to be, like Julie Stolien, Chad Thibodeau, and Blake Nubar. Like, I met all of these guys at a particular event in 2017, and it really just like opened my world up and my eyes up so much more. And so there's a lot I missed there, but basically in the year of 2017, I went from, going from an intern to having a job, and then sort of getting stuck in a rut of like, oh man, I hate having a job again sort of thing. And then I sort of met those guys and was like, there's more to do. There's more I can do. And as soon as that event happened in August of 2017, I started freelancing on the side of my job, and I doubled my income within 6 months. And then I was like, it's silly having a job and, and trying to do this as well. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's jump in. I'll just start a business now. Like, I think this is the right time to actually start a business. And for the past 2.5 years, I've had a business where we've been doing funnel agency work, but, Members Pro's also been around for most of that time. And it's time for me to take that next step and sort of wind down over here and, ramp up where I really want to be. So beautiful.
And I think that's a great, I'm thinking about the Unlock show and sort of our viewers and the things that we've been talking about. And that's just such a beautiful story around, the commitment that you made. And there were some fundamental things that you talked about in your own story and the journey that you took that have led you to where you are today. And what I love about it is that it shows that you didn't have a background in digital marketing. You didn't have a background in what you're doing right now. In fact, it was so far from what you're doing right now that it's not even funny, that most people wouldn't even dream of being able to do that. So for you guys watching as a viewer, that just goes to show that you don't necessarily have to have the skills and the thing that you want to do. You just have to make a commitment. Like, you have to have a desire of, like Chris was saying, that burning desire in your belly, and then just making a commitment. And to me, that was the fundamental thing that you did. You made a decision that said, hey, do you know what? I'm going to go into this. I'm going to do it the full hog. And when you made that decision, then all sorts of things, all sorts of doors started to open for you. So for the viewers, I mean, that's exactly, and the listeners, that's exactly what you need to do, right? And then you got yourself, and you started playing in the spaces where you knew that there were some great people that could really help elevate and expedite your entire process. And boom, that's what happened. So getting around the right kind of people is super important.
Yeah, well, I wish I knew that at the time. In hindsight, it's obviously like, I did some pretty good things to help elevate my success. But, I was honestly like just doing whatever I could to surround myself with people who I wanted to learn from. And it was like nothing intentional around like, I'll use their success to help my success grow. It's never like that. Like, I've always come from a place of like, how can I give value? How can I help people? How can I just surround myself with people who have a really awesome mindset? Because when I was in mining, it was the opposite, right? Like, I was stuck and I was, it was a toxic environment, and I just never wanted to be like that again. Like, we're all happy doing the stuff that we do every day. And, if you come across people that aren't happy or don't align with you, it's like, we don't have to engage with them if we don't want to. We've chosen the path that we're on right now for a reason, and it's so that we can do what we want to do and do it with who we want to do it with. And we don't have to conform to anything. And so this is really why my journey's been like one awesome person after another who I've been able to be connected with. And it was just like value and alignment is really what it's come down to.
Yeah. And, all of the people, it's really interesting because if I think about the people that we've had on all of our shows inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life, inside of our Facebook group, everybody is echoing the same thing. It's the same sort of stuff. If you move into things with good intention, that you're looking for people. I think someone said the other day, Callum was saying that he looks for people to love. Then he's looking for, then what's the opportunity, and then what problem can he solve? And if we look back and we reflect on even my journey and your journey, that's exactly what we've done. Like, how can I build a business, creating it around things that I love, and creating it so that people that I love will come to me, so I can love them up. And then how do I, solve a problem, and how do I create opportunities out of that? Which is exactly the recipe that is proven to work time and time again. So can't echo that enough. Hey, let's get stuck into, membership sites. Like you, that's been my playground too. So, being somebody who's got pretty good at ClickFunnels, has built many, many funnels for clients and membership sites, it's kind of was the thing that I became known for inside of the ClickFunnels community, just like you. So let's talk about, the things that make a real difference to when you're building your own membership site, because there's like the stock standard, you can go ahead and just build a site and have a whole lot of information in there. But then there's kind of this whole lot of next level stuff that increases your students' engagement rates, increases their completion rates, reduces refunds, and enables you to create like long-term repeat buyers. So tell us about the story as to how Members Pro came about first, and then we can launch into like, how do we help people with the steps that they need to take, and give them some really good tips around what they can put inside of their membership areas to do all of the things that we've just talked about.
Yeah, for sure. So Members Pro has had an interesting journey. We started off as a plugin for ClickFunnels, and really at the end of the day, like, ClickFunnels is not really designed for memberships. I would say it's more of a funnel building platform, and there's a lot of things that are be left to, that are left to be desired in the ClickFunnels membership platform. And so Members Pro was like, we see ClickFunnels doing this. And at the time, they didn't even have any statistics on, people completing lessons or anything like that. So we're like, cool, we'll come in as a plugin. We'll help ClickFunnels with the features that they're lacking. And we'll just overlay on top of their stuff so that, a course creator or a membership owner can log into another dashboard to see all of their students' success, effectively. They can see the reviews and all of that sort of stuff. And we'll just do that. We ended up building and developing maybe like 8 or so additional features that ClickFunnels didn't have in their own platform. And then we started to see ClickFunnels implement a few of the features that we had fixed for them, probably the most important ones. And we're like, I don't really want to play this game with like a company. I'm not really here to try and compete. We're just trying to solve a problem. I think the problem's bigger than just ClickFunnels. And so Sinead and I took a step back and we're like, what are the things that, we still see that not just ClickFunnels, but, Kajabi, Teachable and whatever are doing wrong as well. And we're like, we know that number one, the actual content being consumed online is going to increase like tenfold over the next few years. We know that it's also going to go more and more mobile, and we need to, allow for that to happen in the best way possible. And so coming out of the plugin side of things, Members Pro started developing its own standalone platform, and we started with mobile. I think that's really important. We started with mobile so that anyone who was consuming anything anywhere, doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to have a good experience because we've optimized for probably I would say the most important upcoming device, consumption method moving forward, which is mobile, tablet, etc. Like people want to be able to look at stuff on the go, especially if it's not business related content. And even if it is, like people want to be able to listen to it in their car, watch it on the train, on the bus, or, even on the airplane or whatever you want to say. People want to be and consume stuff in a good way. And totally agree, Vicky. And so Members Pro developed a mobile specific platform, and we didn't even have a desktop version when we released. It was like, you can use Members Pro for mobile. You can develop an app with Members Pro. So turning your ClickFunnels content into an app, which we thought was a really cool quirk that could add value to yourself, your brand, your recognition, your customers, and so on and so forth. And then we found like, okay, cool. If we're going to go down this journey, like let's put together a desktop version that's absolutely insane as well. And so we started going down that path, and it's been about 14 months now since we've had, a awesome desktop version. And so that's sort of like the intent from Members Pro side. It's always been, how can we increase the customer's experience at all times, no matter where they are, what they're consuming, and how can we help them consume more content from you so that you get raving fans, so that you have more success with your programs because you've got, little referrals coming out everywhere because of the success of your customers. And so that's sort of been the vision and the journey of Members Pro up until this point. And, moving forward from now into July, especially, we're really focusing on the additional, I think 20-30% of features that are going to absolutely blow up and make your programs the most engaging, successful things in the marketplace if you use Members Pro, of course. And so I'd be happy to chat on that a little bit more, but generally speaking, that's the journey of Members Pro so far.
Which is really exciting. And like I said, what I've loved about watching your journey is you seeing that there's like innovating in a market. You were in one, you saw that particular market there were problems in it. You were innovating and adapting. You threw some things out into that market. They took them up, and that was like, oh, that's a cue to me that, hey, we're onto something. This is really good. And then again, you made another fundamental decision to go all in with you and Sinead doing your own thing. And that's what's brought you again, to where you are today. The other thing that I've really enjoyed seeing in your journey is the fact that you go out and you ask your customers what it is that they actually want. And so the Members Pro platform is actually being built not just through what you and Sinead think are the right things to do for the platform, but actually what your builders, your users, your partners are doing with the program. The other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about, and although this is not I'm going to talk very shortly, guys, about 8 psychological triggers. And I'll talk about them, and Chris will tell you how they have, pulled all of those things into the Members Pro platform, because there are 8 key things that we need to consider and make sure that we have inside of our programs to get really good results and ensure that our members are engaged. But before I get there, the other point I wanted to make is, for those of you who have not yet seen Members Pro, I would encourage you to go and do a bit of research. And the thing that I think they should do research on, Chris, is actually the way in which you launched the All-Star 50 program. So I'll give everybody a little bit of info on that, because I thought that was really, really interesting, the way that you did it, and innovative. So when they first launched Members Pro, Chris went out to an audience and said, "Hey, I've got this brand new product that I'm going to bring out to the market, and I'm going to have 50 spots available for you guys to get like super duper version of this program with a whole lot of extra support that went with it." What that did, guys, was that created a lot of noise and scarcity. So you'll see that when we talk about the 8 key things, or the 8 psychological triggers, one of them is like creating scarcity. So people have this, we as humans, we don't like to miss out on stuff. And I can tell you that as the time kind of started ticking down, and I'm seeing that these 50 spots are, fast going, man, I wanted to jump on them real quick. So needless to say, that made me jump in and become one of the All-Star 50. So go check out what he actually did there, because it's very clever.
Yeah, go to my profile and just search All-Star 50. You'll be able to see most of the posts. And, I will say this, like the first 10, 20 spots are like always the slowest to go. When we got to like, all right, roll call, last 20 spots, they went in like 2 days. The last 20 spots just flew off the shelves, because there was, at that point, so much urgency and scarcity around like, holy crap, if I don't jump on this now, I'm going to miss out. And I will say that we actually, 50 spots is technically what was available. And we actually ended up at around 65, which, we sort of oversold. But because there was so much demand, so much urgency, we had to open up a few extra spots. And we actually, increased the offer duration over Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And we actually doubled the price for that period. And then those guys are still technically, All-Star members. But they just, because they waited so long, they paid a little bit extra. And so having those options available really helped, everyone go, oh man, I need to jump on this, because even if I'm paying double, it's still, $2,000 less per year that I would be paying if I waited even longer, so.
Yeah. So guys, just take note of some of the little, nuggets that we'll be dropping throughout the show, even though it's not technically about launches. There are some things that we'll be talking about here that you should be taking notes right now, that will be fundamental to your success when you're launching your own product. So like I said, go and check out Chris's profile and see exactly what he did do then. So let's talk about these 8 psychological triggers. So I know that when you created Members Pro, that you were really thinking about how not just the UI, the user interface, but you were also thinking about like, how will people engage with that and use it, and how do we ensure that somebody, not only engages with it, because you were talking earlier about, putting in measures and benchmarks and things into the ClickFunnels platform, so you knew whether or not your members were actually going through your course. Because if you don't have that data, you'll have no idea whether or not somebody's even consuming what you're putting out, and whether it's of any use to anybody. So I know you did a lot of research there. the first psychological trigger that I want to talk about is what we call variable rewards. So, and the sorts of things I'm talking about is animation, sound effects, bonuses, and points. Talk to us about how those sorts of things can be included inside of your Members Pro application.
Absolutely. So I would say number one, always, like, you can always include it on your side of things. So when you're developing your content, adding in sound effects with slide changes, or, you know, when you complete a video and there's like a reward. Now, the one person that I know that does this phenomenally is Mark Stern. He puts gamification in every piece of his content. And if you guys want to, you know, check out one of his programs for very affordably, it's called Custom Box Challenge. I believe it's like $47. It's amazing for anyone who's a course creator anyway. Like, you should go through this. But you'll be able to get an idea of, number one, what Members Pro looks like from a customer perspective, but then also two, you know, how Mark actually does his training. And that's actually one of Mark's secrets is, you know, he used to do that in the corporate world. And so he's actually one of the best people at implementing these things. So number one, like, make sure that you're implementing it yourself before relying on a platform to do it as well. The second thing I would say is, you know, bonuses and adding in additional content. So Members Pro, whenever you allow someone to get the program or the fulfillment, you can always bundle that with additional courses or programs. And so it's really easy for you to add in bonus programs into what you're offering. And now, this particular sort of case study that I'll share really quickly is also, you know, going to be covered in more of the psychological steps that Tracy's going to go through as well. But one of our clients, Stacey Martino, Paul and Stacey Martino, they run a 14-day challenge. And every single time someone buys their $47 product, they always have a bonus program that goes with that. And that bonus program is a 3.5-hour webinar broken up into 4 lessons. And people will go through that. And on the 4th lesson, there's an ascension path for them. So an upsell. They basically give them heaps of additional value, because the webinar is, again, it's like 3.5 hours. Like, it's a lot of content, a lot of value, a lot of stuff to cover, but there's also an offer. And that particular program has directly made them an additional $200,000 plus in the last 6 months. And probably over this year, it's going to make upwards of $750,000 extra in indirect income as well. And so, you know, having in bonus programs that have intentions is really powerful. You can do it without intentions for sure, just as a value add, but having intentions included and wrapped into the programs that you deliver, you know, whether they're low ticket, additional bonuses, or free things, whatever it might be, is, you know, really valuable for you and the customer.
And I think what's really nice about being able to put all of your memberships inside of Members Pro, as opposed to, say, something like ClickFunnels or Kajabi, is being able to see, like, on the phone, on the application, all the different products that you have available. So if you're somebody who's got multiple courses, it's a beautiful way to be able to cross-pollinate and cross-sell from one course to another really, really easily, as well as then have that available through the app process, which we'll get to very shortly. The second psychological trigger that I've got, so the first was variable rewards. The next is like constant wins. So I know that when, and this is interesting because the average number of people that actually stick with any program that they purchase online, that actually sees it through to fruition, is 3%, which is really, really low. So extremely important that we do things to help our students actually get through, consume the information, but then also implement it. And if you can get them to have these short wins, then, you know, quick wins, then they're more likely to come back because they're seeing their progress. So what sort of stuff do you encourage your members to do that will help people have quick and constant wins?
Cool. So Members Pro right now has 2 available features that help with this directly. And then we're from July onwards going to be developing a whole ton of new features to add towards all of 8 of these things. generally speaking, right now, we have a progress bar so that the customer can always see how far they are in each individual program from a percentage standpoint. And even like they'll see in a slider, like how far they've come through, and then checks on every single lesson that they mark off. That's really important. Anytime that they leave and come back, they can always continue where they left off as well. So there's always that like, I don't remember where I'm at in the program or whatever the case may be. Like there's always going to be like, cool, this is exactly what you've checked off last. You can continue from there, sort of thing. The other thing as well is we have an email follow-up system where if someone completes a certain lesson, they will get an email from you. And so you can customize that email to be very specific to the lesson they've completed. And, if it's the end of a program, you can give them the next steps as well. So what is the next steps? Do they need to buy another program, jump on a coaching call, whatever the case may be? It's like you can tell them what they should be doing to further their success with you as a coach.
And I think the beautiful thing about this too is that people are wanting to be a lot closer. So it sort of brings the student and teacher a lot closer together. So we're no longer being, aloof and you're only seeing your teacher when, on the screen, which is pre-recorded. It actually helps to bring those two people, together through the ability to be able to send out those, hey, congratulations, Tracy, you've just completed XYZ. How awesome is that? When you get something like that, I know that, you just feel good and it makes you want to go back and do the next thing. Yeah. So number 3 on the list is visualization. So a couple of things here. One is obviously, the way in which we make it look graphically, but the second is actually goal setting. We've talked about this on the Unlock show before, that goals, when people set goals, they are way more likely to actually complete something if they have a goal. Just like you did when you said, hey, I've got a goal on this specific date to actually do X. And if I don't do it, I'm going to, chuck my job in and I'm all in.
Yeah,
it's funny, hey, it works.
It works so well. I mean, when we set those intentions, it's like, and especially if we tell people about those things as well, it's like we'd never want to let down other people as well. So it's really, really important that when we do those things, we complete it for ourselves. There's just like something psychological there where we're like, if I do this, I'm, a failure, or like I've let myself down, or I've let someone else down because I've told them this is what I'm committing to. And so I think goal setting is like, it's really, really important. And it's something that everyone who is helping someone achieve an outcome should, they should be implementing that into their programs and the way that they teach. And so at every video or lesson that you teach, having a action step list for them. So like, to complete this, you should go out and, create a Facebook group, write 5 new posts for new members, and so on and so forth. Like you should have those steps for people to completely understand, like, after I watch this video, what do I need to do? Yeah. What do I need to do to make this a success for myself? And how can I move forward knowing that I've done those things and that I've achieved that goal? That's going to help people want to move towards actually completing the program overall, because they're being held accountable at every step. And especially if you make them or like tell them to come and share their, successes or like the steps that they've taken in a group somewhere. Like Mark Stern, again, he does this fantastically with his custom box challenge. Is like he's linked to post on every single lesson. Once you've finished this lesson, click on this post and tell us what you've done. Tell us who your suppliers are. Tell us what you're going to get printed up and to put into your custom box, and have that accountability there. And there's just something psychological, because not only can you engage with other people who are doing those things, but you can also see what they're doing as well, and you can help them be accountable. And it just creates this like awesome community of people helping each other, all trying to achieve their own version of a specific outcome, which I think is pretty awesome at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, we know, as human beings, sometimes we need to be held accountable. Like accountability helps us to get things done. So even though like you can pretty much put anything you like inside of the Members Pro platform, because you've got the ability to be able to embed, various different other tools right inside of the platform. For example, if you wanted to send, if you wanted to use something like, I've got a program called Pipe Speak, which will enable, members to go on to the app, push a button and actually record a message that gets sent directly to me. So I could integrate. So if I was thinking about how can I make my membership program and my online program more engaging, after each of my videos, I could simply have Pipe Speak on there where somebody could push a button and actually record, hey, Trace, I've just completed da-da-da-da-da, and this was the outcome that I got. Then not only does that keep the person accountable, but boy, you've got some massive, testimonials and snippets that you can use for all sorts of different, promotional material down the track. So sometimes when we're looking at different platforms, it's just about us being a little creative with how else could I use this, and also looking at some of the other tools and resources that we have that would quite possibly integrate. And Members Pro allows you to do a lot of that stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, next one is urgency. Hence the reason that I spoke about, the All-Star 50 right at the beginning, because that was like the perfect way to create massive urgency. And like you said, what happened? It wasn't just 50 that you ended up with. You had to extend it out to 65. So what are some of the things that you could do inside of Members Pro that will enable you to create urgency for your students?
Yeah, so I might even wrap this into urgency scarcity, because I think those two work just hand in hand really well. And guys, anyone who's watching, I've just skipped a step. Urgency and scarcity are separate. So there might be one less than what you're expecting. At the end of the day, like if people know something is going to go away, they're going to take more action or more effort towards doing that. Like an example is, challenges. If we're given 14 days to complete, a set amount of actions, otherwise we lose access to that, we're probably going to be pretty likely to try and keep ourselves accountable to staying on track, to making sure that we hit those goals. And so Members Pro actually has a lesson expiry feature where after a certain amount of days, you can take away the content from someone. And showing that certain things are going to expire on certain days, like visually typing, like this will expire in 7 days, as an example, increases the amount of engagement and interaction like crazy. Now, going back to the Stacey example, she does a 14-day challenge that expires in 14 days. They lose access to that. And in fact, we delete all of the members every 15 days from that particular program. Now, the bonus stuff that they get access to, that expires after 17 days. And so them actually watching that 3.5 hour bonus program is really important for them, because if they don't watch it, they don't get action. They don't get to see it. They'll lose it. And it makes them want to take action. And especially because it is pretty much half training, half, sales promotional sort of stuff. It's a really easy way for her to go, cool, here's some amazing additional value. They watch it and then they understand that they need to take action on the call to action at the end of that particular training, and then they buy. It's pretty much as simple as that. So having that avenue for someone and having it show as like, if you don't take action now, you may never be able to take action. Otherwise, you could sign up for the next challenge, pay me more money. That's fine. It's your fault at the end of the day. Like I know there's so many different people who have taken like ClickFunnels, one funnel away challenge again and again and again, because they've not taken the action that they need to get that result. And they'll probably take it 10 more times. They're probably just people that are adverse to things expiring for them, or they like the live coaching and accountability. And so having those sort of things available to people in set timeframes allows them to, put that pressure on themselves and to commit to the actual action that they need to take to better themselves and to get the outcome that ultimately everyone, everyone wants to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've kind of like combined the two of those together, and in terms of like scarcity. And I mean, I'm imagining that like even in our membership programs that we're going to be creating now is like the self-destruction, even combining some of these things like visual with, the sound, and just making it a lot of a gamification applied inside of it. And when you think about, gaming and gambling even, those are things, if you look at those industries and have a look at what they're doing them for a reason. And that is psychologically to keep people engaged and wanting to come back again and again and again. And, even with gaming machines, give you a little win here and there just to make you feel like, oh, the next big one's coming. So, it's that sort of stuff that we're applying. It's sales psychology as well as like human psychology, that triggers that we're putting into all of the things that we're building now to take things to the next level. Mm-hmm. So you covered off scarcity, which was like number 5. Number 6 is like social proof. So I had written down like leaderboards. And so what are some of the other things that we can put into our membership area, not just from a social proof point of view of once you get inside, but you can also use social proof on the outside to get people interested and intrigued and joining your programs?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few things here that like come to mind for me, and it's all around your people, social proof for people. It's like number one, like in your programs, you can, like, I would suggest setting up a form where you can ask people what their experience has been like, what their successes are like, and if you can use that for, external promotional material. You could also use or reuse those in like intro videos, because, one of the things we're talking about is refunds, right? So like if you have, when someone enters the program, overwhelming social proof around your program and how it's helped others get results, suddenly it's more achievable for the person who's just started watching. They're not going to go look in the membership and go, nah, like this isn't for me. Like if they go in the membership and they straight away see hundreds of examples of other people having success, it's like, maybe this is achievable. Maybe it is for me. Maybe, maybe I'll actually have a proper go at it, And so having that social proof externally and then also internally, and you can just wrap it into your lessons as photos. You can add in videos for social proof. You can even, edit it into your own lesson videos as well, as an example, like showing like Tracy has gotten this result with this program at the end of like lesson 1. It's like, or you can introduce it straight away in the introduction video. It's like, this system has helped Tracy, Megan, Vicky, Donald, Robin, all of these people, get this result and outcome. And then suddenly the person again is, they're instantly seeing that it's possible and there's potential for me as well. So I think that's, really important, is just asking and using that in effective ways. Some additional things as well that, Members Pro will be releasing soon is we're actually building out a full-blown community system in the platform. Now, this is actually going to be, it's going to be a safe place, and it's going to be almost a replacement for Facebook groups, we hope anyway, in the future, so that, you don't have to rely on Facebook to host your community for your paid programs anymore. It's like Members Pro can be that place for you. It's going to be much more organized than a Facebook group would be as well. We have topical contents and all of that sort of stuff. And so underneath each sort of video or lesson, there will be opportunity for people to leave comments and, tell you how impactful the video was and how they've, been able to achieve X, Y result, whatever the case may be. That will always be there underneath each video if you want it to be. And so that's like another way of like indirect social proof, because there's other people telling, the new customers or the other customers how this has helped them and how they're going to have success. And, you can tie that into your call to actions in your videos once it's released as well. It's like, comment below and tell us what takeaway you've had from this video, or what are you doing in the next 3 days to work towards this outcome, and so on and so forth. And so just, weaving in the social proof in your own different ways, and just get creative with it again, so that other people, new members and, people who aren't yet members can see that this is the right thing for them.
And so let's help some people out here, because I know that we'll also have some viewers and listeners that are first timers. So they mightn't have any social proof they haven't launched their program yet, it's the first time round. What sort of things can they do to, I suppose, tick this off? Because social proof is, like, if you listen to any of the gurus, they'll all talk about it. What can people do if they have none?
That's a fantastic question. I'll tell you what I did. I went out there and I worked for free. I helped people. I gave them value. And, I just did everything I could to make other people's lives better and businesses better. And, it turned into me getting a raving fan, and her name is Rachel Pedersen. And she shouted me from the rooftops, and, she's not a small person in the space. And so it might not be Rachel Pedersen, but you can help anyone. There's people out there who need your help, regardless of their size, of their influence. And those people, in exchange for your help, are no doubt willing to shoot a video for you or leave a comment on Facebook or just tell you how their experience has been and how you've been able to help them. So don't always look at it from like, I need to get a monetary exchange for their testimonial. You can go out there and give value no matter what. And I mean, you should be anyway, and you can get that sort of social proof that way.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the power of reciprocity, right? We just go out, we do without any expectation of anything coming back. And usually it does. It may not necessarily come from the person that you gave to, but somewhere along the line that will come back tenfold normally. So I love that. So there you go, guys. That's what you do. And that's exactly what I did too. You've got, you're starting out, you've got nothing, you're going from ground zero. Just go and do some stuff with people for free. Give value where you can, love people up, help them solve their problems. And before you know it, you'll have, 10, 20, 30 testimonials banked up, ready to go into your program. And of course, you can continue to build upon that as time goes on. So as they come in, you use different techniques to gather feedback from your audience, good feedback and testimonials and reviews. Gather all of those up and then start going back and putting them into your program. The next thing that I've got on the list is curiosity. It's like creating a sense of curiosity. I know Russell Brunson does this really well, and he calls it like opening the loop.
Yeah, so referring to something and then not explaining it straight away is just like, it makes our brains go crazy, and we're actually so intentive after something has been mentioned. So an example is like, if you say you'll talk about something and then you go, I'll touch on that later, and then you like talk about something else for the next 5 minutes, people are like, I want to know about the first thing. Tell me about the first thing. And that will be very intentional to listen and watch whatever you're talking about for that period of time until you close that loop for them. So you open it over here, you talk about something else, and then you close it down here at the very end. And so like that's really, really engaging and curiosity driven. They're just like, like I need to know. I think some really awesome other things as well is like showing like pictures of things that people don't really know what they are. So like a picture of your program or a picture of something within your program that people are like, I'd love to see what's inside there, or like, I want to see more of that. That looks awesome. How can I see? Like an example is, I share a new customer that came into the Members Pro world, Steve Larson. Most of you may know him. He's kind of a big deal in this space. And I share his dashboard with all of his like tiles of his different courses, and people are like, holy crap, this is awesome. How can I like make this happen for myself? How can I use this? How can I get around this? And it's like, it just creates like a big spark for people, because it's like, they're so curious because they probably haven't heard about Members Pro. They haven't seen something as nice as this before in other platforms. And they're like, their minds start going wild with like, how can I do this? And it sort of just like sparks all this curiosity around like different ways that they could do things in a better format or a nicer delivery method, and give their members or their customers a better experience overall. And so I don't know, Tracy, do you have anything to elaborate on? Well,
it's interesting because it's funny you should say all those things, because for you guys, if you're watching or listening, you might have seen that we had a lot of that weaved even into today's show. Right at the beginning, I said we're going to talk about this. Then we kind of digressed. We talked about something else. And you had to wait a little while before we got to like, oh, what are these 8 psychology things that these guys are going to talk about? So a lot of that is actually weaved into all the shows that we do. And even with the way in which we deliver our shows, like we get a lot of questions like, how did you do that? What does this say? How do you run, words across the bottom, and how do you make it look like that? So, utilizing visuals is a really powerful way to spark people's imagination and go, how did you do that? It was interesting because I saw that post where someone said, how did you create that? And sometimes it's the most simplest of things. And that came down to like consistency of branding and the visual graphics, right? I mean, it was nothing like, wow, but it is wow if you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, like people ask me, like, how can I do this for myself? And I'm like, really, it's just images and changing out some colors. Like that is the extent of how hard it is on the back end. But the outcome and the way it's delivered on the front end is like mind-boggling. It's amazing to go through. And, Members Pro at the end of the day, like we want something that's amazingly experiential for your customers, but super simple for you to implement on your end of things.
And I think you guys have like nailed that. I think that's exactly what's happening. All right. And the last thing that I've got on my list is like recognition, and giving people recognition for them like moving through your program. And there is guys, I know that I've said there's 8, but there's actually one more like super bonus thing that I think Chris should absolutely talk about, but we'll just wait for that for just a moment. So last one on this whole psychology pathway is recognition.
I'm just going to call out Tracy there. She just opened another loop for y'all. Great job. You're just like, I got to know that 9th one. So recognition, I've already mentioned one. So the email follow-up is amazingly powerful. Just rewarding someone and telling them that they've done an amazing job so far, and letting them know like how they can continue to have success with you in your programs, whether it's an additional program, or it's just more content that they need to start going through. I think that's really powerful. Members Pro, as we develop as well, we're going to be implementing a whole range of other things. Like we want to have automations where if someone completes the last lesson in a certain program, we can unlock more stuff for them if we want to. So that, there's always like the next journey for them. We could even unlock a bonus thing for them once they complete things. So there's like that recognition reward for them actually going through and completing things in its entirety. Because again, that's 3% of people actually go through and do that stuff. And so it's really important that we reward people for those actions. I would say, recognition, giving people shout outs in a public forum as well, telling them that you're proud of their success and telling them that you're excited to see what they can achieve, or you're excited of their accomplishments with you in the short time that they learn from you is really, really mind-boggling. Like it's insanely powerful. And whether you do that on a public Facebook, on your personal page, in a group, whatever the case may be, as long as it's like alongside peers, like I don't think that there is a wrong place to share that stuff. You could even do it in an email, in, a messenger broadcast, whatever the case may be. You can do it literally anywhere. And people will always, always feel better because you're shouting out their success to their peers, which makes them look amazingly good. It makes them want to achieve more so that they continuously look good. And it overall just like sparks that engagement with people who aren't yet there, because they're like, holy crap, like if I get to that point, maybe I'll get a shout out. Maybe I'll get that recognition. Maybe I'll be able to be on Chris's, checklist or whatever the case may be. And so having that just like overall engagement with your peers, your community, everything like that, you're going to just spark so much more engagement in your programs. And I feel as though you'll have much more success with everyone that comes into your world.
Awesome. Well, those guys are the 8 psychological triggers. So I'm just going to repeat them for you so that if you did not write them down, you can grab them now. And like after every show, I will have a handout that you guys can go and get your hands on. You need to be inside the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life Facebook group to be able to access those. So if you're watching this elsewhere, get yourself over to that group so that you can get access. So number 1, variable rewards. Number 2, consistent wins. Number 3, visualization. Number 4, urgency. 5, scarcity. 6, social proof. 7, curiosity, 8, recognition, and we are going to get stuck into the 9th one in a moment. We're like, normally my shows are like 30 minutes long. When I have a guest on, they're 60 minutes, and we are like nearly at our time. I just want to check in with you, Chris. Are we okay to go a little bit longer? And if you do, I've got some other things. He's like, oh, shouldn't I? We will, if you guys message to us in the chat box and say, yes, we want more. We want number 9, and I've got a couple of questions. We may even stay around for, 5 minutes longer and do a bit of Q&A for those of you guys that want some more information about Members Pro, like how do you join? Is it doable if you've already created a program elsewhere? We're going to tell you how to do that with like really simple clicks and, a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to hear that, can you type to us in the chat box? Let us know. Rocking it, hashtag rocking it is the cue to tell us that you want us to stay around and rock the show a little bit longer and tell you some more secrets. Do you guys want to hear that? If you do, let us know. All right, they are saying, yeah, I'm waiting for the words. We got some people. All right, so let's tell them firstly about the 9th big secret, because I think it's a huge secret and something that really takes like Members Pro to the next level. It's something that a lot of other membership programs just don't enable you to do. What is it, Chris?
So basically, I mentioned that we started mobile first. Members Pro is a platform that allows you to create your own app, so your own mobile app, so that your customers, again, can just experience your platform, your program in the best way possible on whatever device they're on. So if they're mobile, they don't need to go to a browser. They don't need to worry about any of that stuff. They've got it right there in an app that they can access at any time. And of course, with an app comes app features and functionality. And so you've sort of got that like next level of features and experience that they're able to go through and have. So Members Pro's app system, we've actually got 3 days right now left on you getting your own custom branded app. So that expires on the 15th of June, which scarcity, urgency right there. You've got 3 days. Otherwise, after that date, we are moving towards a centralized app platform for Members Pro so that we can just continue to develop and go nuts with everything that's inside the platform. Now, I will say this, like anyone who misses out on the custom app, the only downsides is that, you're not going to have something that has your name on it in the App Store. Like that's literally the only downside. The centralized app that we're moving towards is going to be so kick ass. Like anyone who has it and consumes content from it is going to just absolutely fall in love with the way it delivers things for them. So the future is here. Love that, Dawn.
So one thing that I do want to let all of our viewers know is that our app is almost ready to go. So in the comment section, I'm going to type to you guys and let you know, two things. One is how you can sign up and get on the waiting list to be one of the first people to be able to download the Metadime digital app. And you are going to go to our website to do that. It's brand new. Go and check out the new website. Have a bit of a play on it. You'll see all sorts of stuff. You'll be able to watch some of our podcasts and shows, previous ones, all on our website. So the first place you've got to go is there, and you go to metadimedigitalco.com. Click the button that says register for the app, and you'll be able to register so that we'll be able to let you know as soon as our app is ready for you to download in the App Store. The second thing I'm going to post inside of the comments is how you can sign up to have the trial of Members Pro. And I would highly recommend, I'm urging you to do that today because you've basically got 2 to 3 days left, 3 days, to get the personalized version of that. And I would recommend that you do it. After that date, obviously, we're moving to a customized app, which still is going to be amazing, but I would recommend that you do that. So I'll put those 2 links. They will be in the comment section below inside of the Success Secrets for Business, Family and Life. You'll be able to get your hands on both of those and sign up and have a bit of a play with Members Pro. Now, the next question people are going to have is like, but I already have a membership site. Man, I've taken forever to create it inside of something like ClickFunnels or Kajabi or Teachable. Do I have to start from scratch and transfer that all over into Members Pro? Help us out, Chris. What do they do?
The answer is no. We've developed and done the hard work for you. So we've actually got a Chrome extension that enables you to, in one click, transfer all of your content from ClickFunnels, Teachable, Kajabi, and Thinkific with little to no stress at all. It's a couple of clicks. It's over in the new platform in Members Pro, and you're pretty much almost ready to just tidy up and launch to your new group of people. So there's that option. And then anyone who actually signs up for a Members Pro yearly plan, you will also have the availability to have us migrate your stuff for you as well. So we make it dead simple for anyone on the monthly plan, but we will actually do it for you on any of our yearly plans as well.
Guys, how awesome is that? Like, talk about making it really simple. These guys have thought of everything. The other question that people are going to have is, so do I just need Members Pro, or are there other, programs that I can use this with? Like, can I integrate it with my website? If I wanted to use a really, like I'm using something, a email system to send out my automated emails. What are the programs that you'd recommend? And I'm just going to say Usability is an awesome program that you can create your websites and your landing pages with that integrates perfectly with Members Pro.
Little plug. So we've got some really awesome direct integrations. So there's like Thrivecart, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, ClickFunnels, and of course Zapier. So Zapier, you can pretty much do anything you want with Zapier. So if you have someone, completing a form, if you've got a high ticket coaching program, you've got an application form, you're actually getting them to sign the document before you give them access. On the document being signed, as an example, you could then give them access in Members Pro on automation. So they'll get a login email with all of their credentials and the access that you want them to get access to, and it will be there. Now, the same thing happens for lower ticket paid programs as well. Like, you can just, as soon as they've paid or as soon as they've done a form, you can give them access straight away using Zapier or any of the other direct integration methods. Now, if you go to our website, which Tracy will share with you, there's a whole list of different integrations that we have directly. And like she said, her website builder has a direct integration as well. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, like, we've gone just on an hour and we have covered a ton of stuff. And I wanted to just, give you an opportunity to in the wrap up, to cover anything else that you think that our viewers should know about Members Pro, to give them an opportunity to A, connect with you, and B, obviously to get stuck in and start building their membership programs inside of Members Pro. Yeah,
I mean, first of all, I just want to thank you for the opportunity. It's been awesome chatting here with you and your awesome crowd here, Donald, Robin, Vicky, everyone who's been watching. Like, thanks for the engagement. Thanks for all the comments and all of that sort of stuff. So I really do appreciate the time and the thought and the energy. Members Pro, we're going through, let me just read this actually. Deeply well thought out. Sounds like an AI app. So cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Donald. Just really appreciate you jumping on, like I said. So Members Pro, we're going down this really awesome path. And next month, we're actually releasing like a version 2 of the platform. And like I said, anyone who joins now, Tracy mentioned before, we'll be building it with you. And so, just like most course creators, when they release a new program, they like to build it with their customers to understand what their needs are, what their wants are, what their actual marketplace wants from them, so that they don't have to do it once, see what the feedback is, and then do it again. And so Members Pro is sort of taking the same approach, but from a software perspective. We've already got something that's amazingly awesome, but we want to know what your thoughts are, what you'd love to see implemented, how you'd like to follow up with your customers, those sort of things. And so every single Monday, 8 a.m. EST, we're going live in the Members Pro community with our customers, and we're building it with you guys. And the plan is like we will be around mid-July releasing the new version that you've helped us build. And that will be basically released for beta. And once we do that initial launch, from that point, we're basically just going to be growing our company like crazy. We're going to be hiring like another 5 developers. We're going to be building in gamification, so a points reward system, so people completing lessons, completing modules, programs, engaging in the community side of things. They'll all be able to earn points to unlock bonus programs, discounts on other programs. Community, like I said, it's going to be able to basically replace your Facebook group. And in the future, like we want to be able to see you do live streaming and stuff in there as well. So it's going to be like really substantial. Of course, everything is going to be tied towards your lessons and people being able to leave comments and stuff in there as well. We're going to be having order forms directly in the platform as well, and affiliate stuff happening soon. So if you have anyone who's on memberships who have actual subscriptions, that is going to be tied to your customers' access. So if they stop paying, they lose access if you want them to, those sort of things, which is insane, right? Retention is massive. And so there's a whole range of things that Members Pro is committed to developing. And right now we are, like I said, an amazing platform, but in the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see us become the best course and membership platform in the marketplace, like competing with the 10-year-old company of Kajabi and the VC-backed Teachable. Like we're going to take those guys out of the space, and Members Pro is going to become the brand that people refer to as the best platform to host your programs. And so joining us now is like, we're, again, incredibly awesome already, but joining us now is like you're backing something that has a massive vision that is growing and evolving every single day, and that we're committed to putting in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build and grow so that you guys have an amazing program to use, but so that your customers have an amazing program to experience as well. And so that's the Members Pro vision. I really just wanted to share that. I know that there's just so much happening and we're impacting so many lives, and you can be a part of that as well.
Yeah, and like Vicky says, really disrupting that whole industry. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. I've loved watching your journey, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to jump on the show with me today, because like I said, a lot of the things that I'm talking about inside of the Unlock show is about how do we thrive in business, family, and life, and it covers all sorts of things. And I'm seeing you as somebody who's doing that in all of those fields. So I couldn't have thought of somebody better to have on the show to really unlock your journey and share that with the viewers, so that they have an opportunity to go, do you know what? Wow, somebody who's done something in a completely different industry that he, was qualified to do and is now like absolutely killing it, doing what you're doing. So love it, Chris. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everybody for joining us on today's show. A little longer than normal, but I think you will agree that it was absolutely worthwhile your time. I would take notes. I would get yourself over into Members Pro and get yourself sorted, and make sure that you get in there and start building your membership platform inside of Members Pro. As always, I'll put the links in the comments, and I'll also give you a bit of a review checklist so that you can go back through the show notes and make sure that you've captured everything. So thank you so much. I actually hope that I have Chris back on another show. Just saying, Chris, opening that loop. We might get him back on a little bit later, and I would love to talk launches with you at some stage. And wishing you all the best and of success with Members Pro. And I look forward to seeing a lot of our viewers actually utilising your program. So thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Unlock Show. I've been your host. My name's Stacey Wilson. Look forward to seeing you guys again back inside the Success Secrets for Family, Business and Life. I'll be back here again next Tuesday. Until then, live your life unlocked and go and do some amazing stuff. See you guys.